Good afternoon, guys. As you know, this last week at Weight Watchers, our weekly was about enjoy eating out. So what I thought I'd do is bring you some tips that we use when we eat out to stay on plan and to not go way crazy and out of your point range and then end up gaining weight at the end of the week. I would like to share these tips with you. This is just how we do it, so I thought it would be really helpful to share them. The first one I want to share with you would be to plan your attack, so to speak. When you plan a restaurant, think of which restaurant you want and actually go onto the Weight Watchers app, look to see if you can find the point value in the foods, plan out what you want to eat. If there is no restaurant under that name, like if it's a hometown restaurant, go to the website. Usually they will have menus on there and they will show you the nutritional value of all of the foods, so you can figure out the points that way too. We went on Olive Garden's website actually to see what kind of foods they had. You always want to double check that because a lot of times the menus will change from what Weight Watchers says they are, so they won't have a certain item anymore. So definitely go to their website, check out the menu, and just kind of plan from there. Like for an example, we went out to Olive Garden for my daughter's wedding anniversary this last week, and what I did was I looked to see what they had. I wasn't real crazy about all of their options because they were a lot of higher points. So what I opted to do was just get a chicken breast that was baked, no oils or anything like that. And I just got their marinara sauce, which I think was 2 smart points is all it was. So I got that, and then I've got a couple other, like I got steamed broccoli, and then I got some side fries on the side. And they were Parmesan French fries actually. They were 9 points, but because I had such a low point meat and vegetable options, I was able to pick that really good option that I really loved. I kind of saved those for last too because they were really good. So just those are an example of what you really want to, pre-plan everything. And another important thing is to pre-plan your whole day so you know what you have available to eat out with at that restaurant. So put everything in the planner and then pre-plan your whole entire day that way. The next thing that I would recommend doing is if there is no options available, no menu, no online menu to look at, the next thing you would want to do is look at similar restaurants with similar food options and kind of guesstimate what you're going to have. If you really want that item, you're going to have to guesstimate and then put it in. I would go usually on the higher end just to be on the safe side. And you got to be realistic too, because let's say you're going out to a Chinese place and you want those crab rangoons. Well, they have a set of 4 and a set of 6. You opt for the 4 option thinking you're only going to have 1 or 2. Realistically, you probably will eat all of them, so count all of them just to be on the safe side, and then you will have extra points if you don't end up eating them. And then if you need to look on the app for a comparable item, make sure, because I have seen this happen before, go into the app and make sure that when you're looking at the crab rangoons, it is not something that someone had put in that is a homemade option with fat-free cream cheese and that sort of thing, and just count those as like 7, 8 points, because we all know crab rangoons are way higher than that. So if you're eating them out in a restaurant, chances are they are deep fried and not baked like some of the options in the app are. So when I kind of look for crab rangoons, I see a lot of homemade options, a lot less points. So make sure you choose the correct option, look at it, and make sure that it's not a homemade option with fat-free cheese and no oils used on that. So that's just something I have seen done before many times. You can also call the restaurant directly and say, hey, how is this item made? You know, kind of plan it out that way. I'm not afraid to do that. I'll call the restaurant and say, hey, I'm just wondering what kind of oil you use and if it's an option to get this baked or broiled and not use any oils. And because sometimes I guess you have to use the oils on the certain grill that they have. So I would even double check and call the restaurant if you are really serious about your weight loss and really just want to make this work and you want to stay on your blue dot or you want to stay within your range all the time, that's an option too. If you don't care and you want to just have a fun day, then have a fun day. But I'm just giving you tips on what you can do, and you eat out often. The restaurants that I have called, they don't mind. They're more than willing to help you out, and they're going to sell you food. So of course they're going to be willing to help you out. The next tip would have to be make sure you have a healthy snack and water before you even go out to the restaurant. And I'm not talking hours before, I'm talking a half an hour before. Make sure you have a healthy snack and some water. Have a full glass of water before you go, and you will always eat less once you get there. So, okay, you're at the restaurant. The first thing that we do is figure out, usually we have in our mind what we want. And then if we don't, we always ask the waitress or waiter if it is possible to do half orders. If we want a certain thing, sometimes we will share an order and just cut a hamburger in half and each have half of the hamburger and half of the fries. And most of the time, we will just ask for a box first, right away before we even start eating. Cut that meal in half because usually you know it's 2 portions instead of 1. They're huge portions here in the US. So that's an option too. You can ask to go box, and then bonus, you have 2 meals in 1. You can take one home and have one for lunch or dinner the next day. Definitely order your 0-point foods before you order your high-fat, high-point foods. Because then once you see all of, you got it in your mind, okay, I already ordered chicken, I already ordered veggies, I really don't need 2 sides along with that. So then you'll cut it down to just 1 side and something that you really enjoy. Always get something that you enjoy, one little thing of something that you really enjoy, so you have something to look forward to, not just plain chicken, plain veggies, whatever you have, make it fun. So, and something that you really enjoy. One thing I do too, before I even leave for the restaurant also, is to pack up any sauces or ketchup. Sometimes if I'm planning on having fries, I'll bring my low sodium ketchup so I don't have to have their high sugar content ketchup, and I know how many points it is. I bring my own dressing at times if they don't have a low fat option, which I'll usually call and ask and double check because I don't want to bring food in if they have it there. I don't think that's real cool to do. But if they don't have that option for you, I don't feel bad bringing it in because they don't have it to offer. You want to make the best choices that you can for you. So don't feel bad bringing that stuff in. I just stick it in my purse, bring it in. They've never said a word to me. I actually brought some stuff into Subway before and ate my own thing while the boys ate a Subway sandwich because I chose not to have the Subway sandwich. And I just brought my own stuff in because we were on a trip and that's all we had available in the car anyway. So I didn't feel like having a sub or anything at Subway. I just brought my own in. They never said a word. One thing we have been doing also is to practice on guesstimating. Measure out a 1/4 cup of rice, put it on your plate, and kind of look at it and say, oh, yeah, I kind of, practice doing that always on your plan is to just practice, weigh it out, measure it, and look at it really closely so you can kind of get an image in your head of what it is. So when you do go out, you can kind of grab some rice. If you're going to a Chinese restaurant, grab some rice, put it on your plate, and you'll know about how much 1/4 cup is. So you got to keep it. If you want to succeed on your plan, you kind of got to keep it within limits, especially if you eat out a lot. If you only eat out once every couple months, I'd say go for it because that's what I would do. But if you're eating out often, you really have to keep it in the portion control range if you want to make this plan work at all. If you're eating out 2 or 3 times a week, you're probably not going to lose if you're eating out too often because that stuff is so high in sodium and you don't know really technically how it's cooked, especially if you're not asking questions. You can ask questions. You can ask if they make it in oil. You can ask if they add butter. A lot of the vegetables in many restaurants will add a butter sauce to your vegetables because it makes it taste better, obviously. So they want you coming back. And sometimes they'll even add sugar, I've seen. So double check with them before you order if you're concerned about that. And double check to make sure they're not adding any butter or sugars in it. Usually you can taste when it gets to your table, you can taste that if you really love it, it's probably full of sugar and fats, right? You can definitely ask those questions. That's what you're paying them for. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. When I go to order, I usually always order water first because that's something that I want to get away from the diet soda, so I always just say water. It's just a habit now just to say water. If you never have soda at home, if you never have it usually anytime anywhere else and you have a deal with yourself, okay, I can only have diet soda when I go out to eat once every couple months, I'd say go for it because why not? That's another tip. Just order water instead of any kind of soda or unsweetened tea even. Just coffee. Coffee is always an option too. I always order water with lemon It's just really good. And sometimes I'll even take a little stevia packet, put that in there. It makes all the difference. So it's still 0 points that way. I know diet soda is 0 points too, but it has all of that coloring in it, the caramel coloring, all that other crap in diet soda, which is exactly why I need to quit it again and get back to just water like I used to drink. And the first year on this plan, I lost a ton of weight, and now I've slowed down since I started drinking diet soda. So that's one thing I need to get off of. I've lessened it now, so that's a good thing. Another tip would be order your dressings on the side. If you did not take them from home, order them on the side if they have the low-fat option. That way you can just dip your fork in, put it in there, and then just get as little as you need to. And usually there's plenty of dressing left over that I found dipping my lettuce in there. And I have plenty of lettuce for my salad if I do it that way. And like I said, don't be afraid to ask how things are cooked and if they're low fat or not, because like I said, it's your plan and you want it your way, you're paying for that. And definitely do not be afraid to go off the menu totally, like I did at Olive Garden. I just said there was no option for chicken breast with marinara sauce. I just said, hey, can I get a chicken breast baked with no oils, and can I get some of the marinara sauce on it? And she's like, sure, no problem. That's what they did for me. They cut it into strips. It was delicious. It was so good. And you could even sprinkle a little Parm cheese on it if you want to take a little of the light Parm cheese from home even. I never thought of that, but next time I'll do that. There's so many options when you go out to eat. If you're taking the waitress's time, if you are sitting there looking at the menu, if you're staying there way over like the normal time somebody would sit and have a dinner, we definitely tip better than just 15%. So keep that in mind too, because the waitresses, they don't get paid well. They live mostly on their tips. So definitely tip them well if you're taking up the time. If you are at an all-you-can-eat buffet, the one thing that we talked about in our meeting this last week, our leader brought up the fact that she wants all she can for every penny that she is spending on this meal. And if you can get all you can eat, you want to take advantage of that and just shovel it in, right? And she said her husband looked at her and said, are you satisfied? Are you full? And she's like, yes, I am. And he's like, then you got your money's worth. And that is so true, guys. It really hit home for us, because I can't tell you how many times we've eaten out at a Chinese restaurant before starting Weight Watchers, just shoveled it in, got so full, got so sick, and it just was not worth it then at the end. If you have one plate, I learned then later, just have one plate. I was satisfied. I was pretty full actually with one plate full, and I didn't feel sick at the end. So, and yeah, I feel like I got my money's worth eating it that way. So that really hit home for me. It's like, yeah, I remember when I used to do that. So if you feel satisfied, you feel full, you definitely got your money's worth. The last thing I wanted to bring up is build your list, meaning that once you go to this fast food restaurant, you have a certain thing. Mark it down on something. Mark it down in your planner somewhere that you know exactly how many points there are. That way, if you're in a big hurry and you need to stop somewhere fast and you didn't have plans, let's say somebody went to the emergency room and all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I can't go home and cook, I have to go out to eat. You know exactly what to get from these restaurants. Even McDonald's has options like the ham and cheese McMuffin is only 7 smart points. The hard shell taco from Taco Bell is only 5 smart points. The soft shell is only 6. Starbucks, the turkey bacon with egg white and cheese is only 5 smart points. Jimmy John's turkey with mustard is only 7 for a 6-inch sub. And that Subway turkey on wheat with cheese even is only 8 smart points. And if you get the spicy mustard sauce with it, because that's 0. There's so many fast food options that are low pointed that if you are in a hurry, you can just grab. So build up your list, keep it on hand, maybe even keep a list in the car that you can just grab right away and go to. That way you know what you're looking for fast and you don't have to even spend time scrolling through your app trying to find something when you're in a really big hurry. Those are my tips and tricks for eating out. I hope they helped you. They definitely helped us. We have thought about this. I can't even tell you how many times we have thought, man, we really, really need to do this. And once we started doing it, it really made sense to us. And actually, we have stopped eating out hardly at all. I mean, I think we ate out twice this last month. We ate out once at Starbucks for breakfast for 5 points. That's all we had was the breakfast sandwich. And then we ate out at Olive Garden because it was my daughter's 5th wedding anniversary, and we always take them out to eat on their wedding anniversary. That was all we've eaten out for, I can't even tell you how long. And it's just something we don't do anymore because it's our choice. Because I do have time to cook at home. I'm home all the time. I do have time to cook, which is what I had to get into my head. It's like, okay, I'm just being lazy now. I can cook. Even if you have a full-time job, you can plan your meals at night, get something ready to prepare in the slow cooker, throw everything in the morning, and just turn it on. That's all you got to do. It wouldn't be that hard. When I was working full-time, I still cooked at home. I made the slow cooker meals more often, but I still made sure that my boys were full and had their dinners. I worked 3rd shift, so I slept in the morning a lot. And I just always made sure that I had everything ready in a baggie or whatever, even something that my husband could just throw in the slow cooker and say, hey, turn it on high, and then I'll take care of it when I wake up. It wasn't that hard. There's so many slow cooker meals out there. You can just get them prepared and ready and still have time for yourself to enjoy even a movie and going out somewhere, wherever. And guys, don't be afraid to use your weekly points on the meals that you love. If you decide you want to go out to eat and really just go to town, use all your weekly points. That's what they're there for, and you can earn some of them back with rollovers. So don't be afraid. Heck, even if you go 70, 80 points on your meal, you can earn some of those back with rollover points. So don't be afraid to just enjoy your time out and splurge once in a while. I definitely would not recommend doing it more than once a week if you want to lose weight and stay on track. But if you do it once in a while, I'd say go for it. Use your weeklies, use some rollover points, and then earn them back as you go. Or pre-plan, earn your rollovers first, and then use it at the end. I love doing it right after weigh-in because I feel like I have so many days then to get back on track, earn those rollovers back, and then I usually end up having a loss even though I eat out once or twice in that week. So you can still earn those back and still have a good time at the same time. I am done talking now, but I hope this helped you guys, and I hope those were good tips for you all. I just thought I'd share them because a lot of people don't even realize that you can ask for special things at restaurants, but you definitely can. So I hope you guys all enjoy your day, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you for the What I Ate. Hopefully, well, it probably will be up before this one. This one is a little bit longer, so it'll probably take overnight and somewhat more to upload. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.